Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Pete Cole, and I'm a member of TIBCO's partner team. Today's topic is looking at the practical applications of AI claims processing. In this webinar, I will do a very quick introduction to TIBCO, and I will then pass the stage over to our partner, DataShack. I must draw your attention to our confidentiality disclaimer. If you could please read this in your own time. TIBCO software unlocks the potential of real-time data for making faster, smarter decisions. Our connected intelligence platform seamlessly connects any application or data source, intelligently unifies data for greater access, trust, and control, and confidently predicts outcomes in real time and at scale. I'm very pleased to be joined today by Annie Toner, CEO at the DataShack, who will give you a deep dive into the practical applications of AI in claims processing. Thank you, Annie, for joining us today. Over to you.
Thank you, Pete. It's a pleasure being with everyone today, and a warm welcome to every one of our attendees from the DataShack. Today, we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about the practical applications of automated AI claims management. So, at the bottom of this, and what brings the TIBCO stack of products and us together is AI, because the data that's collected, connected, unified, implemented is inherently dumb. What really adds value to it is how to use it and how to act on it, and to use algorithms to do that. That's where the real value lies, and algorithms define action, as per this quote from Peter Sondergaard from Gartner. At a big data summit some years ago. This really, to me, signifies why we do this, why we are in business at the DataShack. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some industry trends around AI and claims management in the insurance industry. So really these days, we all know that IoT sensors are sitting at the key of providing personalized data to our claims platforms. We are no longer just understanding and grouping people in hordes and clusters as we did before, but we're understanding individual behavior of individuals and getting that in real time from IoT sensors. And we can use this information very quickly and very effectively with algorithms to start really customizing the way that we talk to our customers, the way that we settle their claims, the way that we see them as a high, low, medium risk type customers, depending on the individual behavior, not the behavior as a group. The newer trends, of course, as we are seeing the emergence of apps where claims can be logged or claims can be logged on websites, the old school paper processes are gone. We can use this to our benefit, because the infrastructure environment is there under the hood for us to automatically settle these claims and do it efficiently using AI algorithms. We can also bundle these products into sales to our customers when we're selling them policies for either life insurance, health insurance, or short-term motor insurance. And we can actually go and start and bundle these into understanding and using the data from these devices to understand the risk appetite and the risk behavior of our customers. That makes for algorithms the task very, very easy to try and learn from thousands of data points, helping an insurer very quickly to start predicting how to treat a customer and how to settle their claims. What are further new industry trends emerging in the space? Specifically, online interfaces and virtual claims adjusters. As soon as we understand more and more and learn more and more about a customer and their virtual behavior, one can very quickly understand and rerun this through advanced algorithms to very quickly understand and make decisions on masses and masses of data points about a specific customer themselves and a customer compared to a group of people like them, but making sure that those rules are very, very quickly coming back, and we can immediately treat that customer the minute they log into our app and log a claim. We can immediately know who they are, understand how to handle them, and what their needs are. A very big trend in insurance industries these days is actually competition of insurance companies in the speed of settling claims. Especially next generation tools are expected to immediately understand the situation and the size of the claim, the risk of the customer involved, and to understand very, very timeously that these claims can be settled even automatically, or if a customer is medium or high risk, take much longer to settle. Customers are evaluating whether they will become your customer as an insurer based on the speed that you can settle their claims and the efficiency of you managing and handling their claims in a virtual environment without them having to call into a call center or speak to a specific agency. A very big win in this space is a decreased likelihood of fraud, because we can put algorithms under the hood. The minute a claim hits our data mart, data lake, we can immediately start and classify and understand whether the transaction looks suspicious before waiting and for time to actually move on, and us not being sure of the type of behavior and how it compares to other behaviors. And typically in the fraud analytics space, we want to very quickly and immediately have a no, we cannot settle this claim, it is fraudulent. The quicker that happens, the least the cost to you as an insurer. So where's the biggest change? Where's the biggest change in the evolution of technology in this space? It's the type of data we used for the risk scoring. There's two sides to this. It's first of all the data that's used, and secondly the types of models that are available these days and never used to be available in the past, and the technology. First of all, big data technologies, understanding how to quickly ingest this data, because AI is data hungry. It needs as much data as you can throw at it to become better and better at learning customer behavior. But trends, where traditionally one looked in AI at clustering techniques where I compare you as a customer to a group of people that are like you, I place you in a box and I treat you like everybody in the same box. That is no longer acceptable, and the technology allows us to actually not treat customers like that. We are moving away from likely behavior of categories of customers to pricing and claim settlement based on actual behavior of individual customers. What types of data do we use? We use customer demographic risk. We look at who they are, where they live, what their ages are, their behavioral risk. What are they doing on a daily basis? We've got these IoT devices. We know they've got an Apple Watch or a Garmin watch. They've got trackers on the insurance, on the vehicles. If it's a smart home system, we understand their typical behavior around their home. If it's short-term home insurance, we can understand the actual behavior of the person, but we can also understand the risk and the value of that asset and the behavior of that asset if we're looking, for instance, at a vehicle or at a smart home. And all of these can be these days taken into account when we look at a customer's risk together with the history of what claims. Traditionally, all that was used is some demographic data and some of their claims history. That's one bit. We can use make use of much more rich data. We can treat people as individuals, and we can add a whole lot, a rich environment of information about individual customers and model the risk of their claim based on this behavior. So what do we do with this? We actually take all of this data, model this, and determine a score for high, medium, low risk, or you can have more categories than just 3. Of course, with things like decision trees, we can have as many categories as makes sense for your business. And we use a sum of the ratios for each of these to determine our overall risk and how to make an optimal settlement decision. We need to understand every aspect about the customer to score them. And we can really use very basic to very, very advanced rules, depending on the data that we have available. And data is not the only thing. The techniques available to us, the newer, traditionally, if one looks at a banking, insurance environment, old school logistic regression trees were being used. These things can do binary splits. These things, or classification regression trees, where I can only say high or low. I cannot say high, medium, high, low. I treat people in a wide variety of age brackets just as above and below a binary value. Those are old school techniques. Newer generation AI techniques allows us to do far more than that and look at very, very intricate buckets of people and treat them individually, rather than treating everybody the same based on very large things like salary or age buckets or risk buckets. So what are the use cases for claims, for automated claims management? Really, we can model and track live settlement dates and live settlement behavior, or live risk behavior to improve settlement dates. So we can also understand not only how we are settling individual claims, but we can understand the performance of our portfolio. How well are we doing at settling these claims? How long on average is it taking us to do that? What is stopping us from being more efficient? So we can understand with time series type analysis and claim settlement life cycles, we can model this to improve these times. I said before, we really are starting to look at competition in the insurance space as to who can most efficiently and speedily settle my claim. And that's a customer I'm going to go for. A lot of insurance agencies these days are being rated on their speed and efficiency to settle my claims. We can efficiently model and track all of these settlement ratios and understand our own settlement behavior based on different customer segments and products. And they follow different patterns and cycles. And therefore, we can become, as an organization, far more agile at giving our customer what they want and keeping them with us. And I spoke already about automated fraud detection algorithms, together with me looking as the customer's claim is coming in and looking at those pieces of data that I discussed before. The minute that I understand the behavior of my customer, I can understand whether this customer is behaving in the way that I expect them to behave. If a transaction is coming through looking very, very different from everybody else that is processing that type of claim, my fraud detection algorithms is immediately going to recognize that. So you build that into that claims process, not separate. You look for fraud at the point of initiation. Fraud is going to happen when a person actually lodges that claim. So if it looks immediately strange, I want to know immediately the technology is available, the algorithms are available. And you could immediately go and flag this transaction for risk assessment and mitigation. I can know what to expect immediately. A huge aspect of this is an optimized customer experience. Customers no longer expect to be a number as your customer. They no longer, they expect when I log into your portal, when I give you a call, when I log into your app, you know who I am. You understand who I am. You have my data. You're not going to ask me 10 times for the same information. You're not going to ask me to upload all kinds of stuff that you got from me when you onboarded me as a customer. And once I am in your customer pool, you know how to communicate efficiently with me based on previous times of communicating with me. So if I'm looking at an automated claims experience, these days we're seeing that it's being done using chatbots. It uses the customer's social data, geographic data, and it creates a personalized interaction. It recognizes who you are. It uses things in AI. We use image recognition. We use your social data. We can actually personalize that conversation we're having with you. It will automatically identify and verify you. There's not 500 security questions. We know who you are. And it can create for you immediately understanding what your situation is, what went wrong, individual coverage, but individual settlement, to understand, to create an understanding immediately of what went wrong, where it went wrong, what is the typical settlement amount, what is your typical behavior, where do you fall on the risk scale. And knowing all of that, we can immediately make some sort of decision. The decision may be to auto settle you and just pay your money out. The decision may be to have somebody contact you and ask 3 more questions. But the idea here for insurers are to actually make informed decision based on having that data immediately at the customer's fingertips, first prize, but also at the fingertips of somebody that needs to assist that customer as quickly as possible. Of course, for all of this, underneath all of this, sits things like customer profiling, customer clustering, and segmentation. We understand how these customer segments behave and how to effectively target them with communication. A chatbot is only as good as the information we have about the customer, and making sure that information is clean, up to date, fully integrated with our interactions and our full relationship with the customer. So before I finish and move on to a bit of a demo around our insurance technology solution, what are the opportunities for you as insurers in insurance technologies? Number one, real-time analysis and on-time decisions. The technology is not lagging. The technology is available. The technology is at your fingertips. And your customer satisfaction is very much linked to being able to embrace these technologies and use them effectively. And huge opportunity here is the traditional way of using proxy data or comparing somebody to a group and putting them in a certain pocket or a certain bucket or a certain box and categories, but moving to source data about individuals. These days, it's all about the individual. You cannot be compared and put in a group and treated like the group. Especially in motor insurance and in health insurance, we're seeing more and more that insurance companies are becoming hardware companies with sensors, meaning that from your insurer, you could expect to be offered some sort of a health app, smart watch, smart sensors in your vehicle when you're insuring your vehicle, smart home when you're insuring your home. It's becoming prolific that within these insurers, the skills are emerging to integrate this hardware with your data systems. And it's up to you then to monetize that investment as an insurance company to say, what am I going to do with this information? Great to have it. I need to monetize it. It's going to pay you back in spades when you are making real-time decisions. You're using that data to treat your customer better. And definitely image recognition technologies. There's some leading edge insurers where you actually look at people's facial features and facial images. And there's algorithms these days that actually look at insurance settling, whether you look truthful or not, from your face and from the way that you actually responding and so forth. It's becoming a thing, and it's really at the forefront of newer generation algorithms in even pricing, dynamic pricing for insurance, but definitely on looking for fraud and fraudulent behavior in insurance. But of course, there are also some challenges. Fraudulent claims still is a bugbear when it's not. And from experience, guys, this happens when the environment is not integrated. Your claims environment is not integrated with your fraud environment. The two always run as separate silos. Fraudulent insurance, especially in health and medical type insurance, is huge. Again, in short-term insurance, in high value assets. Immediately, this needs to be incorporated in your claims system. It costs the industry millions and millions, billions of dollars, as you can see, 80 billion in fraudulent claims. Then there's a generation of our customers that are worried about using chatbots to get insurance quotes or to make a decision. A chatbot, or lodging my claim with a chatbot. There's a whole generation that's comfortable with that. So that is a challenge. And depending on our customer base, we need to assess that and maybe split the way that we're talking. And this is all about understanding how we are talking to our customers and understanding how our customer would be responding to using an app or not being called by a person. Of course, hacking and security in this environment is always a concern. There are various technologies, however, that solve these problems. And you know, in an environment where financial transactions happen all the time, this is a real issue. But there are technologies available to really assure you that there's governance and security around the space where the AI and where the claims are operating. So there's really a lot of sort of confusion these days around how do I use this data? How do I, and this brings me to a last topic, is in my team, do I have this? Is data science and AI scary to me? Do I have this available in my environment? Do I have the skills available in my environment? And I can assure you, as a TIBCO partner, number one, the technology skills within the TIBCO environment is certainly there. The skills in helping you along this journey is certainly there. And deploying and acting as your team member and working with you until we have an embedded solution and have made your team capable of implementing such systems is definitely available. So the takeaway from here is, yes, there are challenges, but there are many, many more opportunities. If you follow really good business practice, you understand and you work with a team of people like the team at TIBCO, like us at Data Shack, who have done this several times, many times over many years, and understand these technologies. And we can hold your hand on this journey to implementing these kinds of systems. So really, I want to step away from slides and just for a few minutes, focus and show you a demo of the product. But before I do that, so when I look at these AI claims settlers and an automated claims settling, what does it take from an AI point of view and an analytics point of view and a data science point of view to deliver this to you? There's an infrastructure, and TIBCO has brought these tools for us to be able to provide these environments to you. So what's under the hood? What technology platform is under the hood of what I'm going to be showing you? We obviously have data coming in the entire time. We've got batch data, maybe demographic data about our customer that we had to onboard them. We've got streaming data the data from their IoT sensors, their behavior coming in the whole time. We can process data from those streams directly to visual analytics platforms. We can actually use those streams to upload into a data virtualization space where we are going to use that data to serve it up to my data science environment. So if you look at the left-hand side of this slideshow, that's all incoming data, whether it be batch, streamed, or these streams are immediately processed to make a decision. If I then go into the middle top of the slide, I look at data virtualization. That is where this data is all brought together, refined, stored, whether it be data lakes, raw unstructured data, or traditional data marts and master data. This is all then abstracted, federated, and cached in your virtualization environment and pushed and made available to the data science, high-end data science tools. In this case, these data science tools are used to create the algorithms and to drive these algorithms that will be used to score your customers and to make us understand who they are, how they are behaving. Are they a high risk? Are they a low risk? Are they a low risk customer behaving like a high risk customer today? And is this a fraudulent transaction? That all sits in the bottom middle data science environment. What decisions this environment makes gets pushed back out to dashboards. And I'm going to be showing you the GUI, the graphical user interface, the visual analytics of once this data has been scored, how do I as an insurer interact with it? How do I manage it? Just bear in mind that when you're seeing dashboards, all of this on the left-hand side is sitting under the hood of what I'm showing you. So with that, I want to say thank you. I'm going to be showing you a quick demo, but thank you very, very much for your attention and listening to some of the trends, challenges, and what is happening with AI in automated claims processing. With this, I'm going to switch over to my demo environment. Thank you. So hi, everyone. Back with looking at the demo on the slides that we've just discussed. So as you'll notice from the architecture that I've discussed with you in the slides before, remember what's under the hood. What I'm showing you here is the graphical user interface pushed to your clients or to your stakeholders and consumers in your organization, pushed to them via TIBCO Spotfire. Now, what's under the hood here? What drives all of this? As you'll remember from my slideshow, you had incoming data, either batch loaded or streaming on the left-hand side of that slide, bringing data in to either your data marts, data lakes, and either via or not via TIBCO data virtualization, where we federate that data, make sure we serve it up in a way that's easily consumable by your data science tools. Now, in that case, obviously, this data then gets run through AI models, and that the decisions and scoring from those AI models gets pushed to these dashboards. So this dashboard is divided into two pieces just for demo purposes. Of course, when we deploy it at a customer site, depending on the consumer or the stakeholder using this dashboard, will usually either be an operational person or a strategic level person. So on your operational side, we have a control tower for your operational personnel. These will typically be people looking at day-to-day management of your claims processing, understanding the performance of your claims, and understanding the performance of claims assessors in your organization. On the right-hand side, we have the more strategic side, where you're looking at people like your actuaries, risk analysts, and so forth, that business leaders that might be interested in understanding your current risk ratios, given your portfolio of funds available, as well as then claims incoming and what you can expect to be paying out in the next foreseeable future. They can also look at the demographics around the claims that are coming in. Right, so I'm going to drill a little bit deeper into the control tower itself for operational staff. So we start off here in the control tower with just a quick at a glance daily overview for you as maybe the call center manager, as to how your call center agents are performing, what claims are currently coming in, where you are month to date, how many active claims I'm dealing with, 39.3 million, maybe dollars or pounds, how many of these claims have been cancelled, how many have been, or the value of how many have been finalized or undetermined. I can actually look at, and you can see these are states. In this demo is actually set up to look at states in Australia. You can actually see how many claims per state, how much these claims are for, and what the top claim is for. And I can also look at my claims by gender. So this is just a quick at a glance, where am I at the moment? But I can very easily drill down and go and look at claims performance from a more granular level. If I wanted to perhaps look at only my active claims at the moment, I can quickly go drill down. I can see who they are. I can actually see the real data by risk category. Maybe I'm only interested in the active claims of high risk. You'll see that the dashboards are very responsive. And so you can see currently that I'm looking at claims that are active, that are actually for high risk clients. Now, what I want to point out here is this risk category, high, medium, low, that is informed automatically by my AI algorithms. And these will so high, and I can build in rules for high risk claims, that these claims immediately gets referred to a call center agent. If claims are, however, and I'm going to just reset the filters to go back to selecting all cases, but I can very quickly understand immediately from apps, from my business portals, any data that's streaming in, any data that's been batch loaded, as it comes in, I can real time see, and they immediately get scored through my AI models, and I can understand where the customers, and it decides based on the algorithms where the customers are high, medium, low. Low risk customers, I could choose to just immediately settle. That takes load off my call center, and customers are more happy, and they get responded to very quickly. All of these graphs are fully drillable. I can look at the raw data. If I was perhaps interested in only death claims around death or disability, for instance, or disability and total permanent disability, you can see that they're very interactive, and I can understand which of those claims are active, cancelled, and finalized at any time in real time from all the data sources, as you saw from the architecture. Now, what's really, really important, and you'll remember I actually spoke about it in my slides, is claims performance and making sure my assessors are being efficient in serving my customers. If I look at the control tower, I can go from here or from my control tower for operational staff. I can actually go look at my assessors' performance. These are my list of assessors. I can look at the average number of process steps they need to follow. So they on average follow about 9 steps to settle a customer's claim if it gets referred to them. And I actually have here metrics like the average number of info requests. So meaning they have to go back to the customer to ask for information that we don't have. And we're trying to keep these as low as possible. And we can score them depending on timeframes, whether they're in the top or bottom 5 respondents. I perhaps want to maybe have a look deeper into one of them, and I can perhaps look at, if I look at Kelly Cobb here, she's spending quite a bit of time on settling claims, and we want to understand maybe, what type of claims, what has Kelly done in the last while. And Kelly, we can see she's got about 732 claims that she's settled. She's got a few active and so forth. And I can go look at Kelly's behavior specifically. And so this allows you really in your call center to understand the behavior of your call center agents and your claims assessors as they're actually helping and assisting your customers, and who's not performing in real time. Once again, as these claims are settled, as these claims are coming in and assigned to them, they immediately come onto the dashboard. So looking further to this, again, I'm not going to go into too many of these, but you can look at the claims categorically by the type of claims. If I want to understand what makes up your death claims, what makes up your disability, and so forth, I can very easily understand my cover, the average death policy cover, the maximum, the minimum, and how many of them I've currently got out there. It's very, very easy to do nice drill downs by each of these and by status. I'm not going to click on the live view button there. That's for streaming data. Because of webinar purposes, we cannot set the streaming to be on, but I can immediately have actually see my cases as they're streaming in and which are currently streaming in and what they're all about. Lastly, I can also assess my claims respondents. If I'm perhaps looking at some or my call center agent like Alan Davis, I can understand Alan's performance over time. Maybe for the last few months, I can see September, October, November, how many of his claims were actually settled in time, and seeing that he was actually not doing so well in November, and that I found him in a red space, meaning he sort of overstepped time boundaries and so forth. And then I also have a look at what he's got. If I was looking at November specifically, finalized claims, that makes not a lot of sense, but I can drill down into all of this person's claims, and I can see actually the total time spent on specific claims and the average time my assessors have spent on these claims. Right, so I'm going to stop looking at that and just move over for a minute to the strategic dashboards. So in this case, if I'm an actuary, if I'm a departmental manager or a business manager, I might be interested in very different metrics. I'm actually interested in things like the risk and aging of my claims. How long do I take to solve? And just on that point, I want to just quickly go back to the to show you something specific on my claims performance. If I perhaps look at, you'll see we capture the number of days that are delays between the date of loss and the date reported to my actuaries. This is very important, the date of report to the date of finalization. And you can see some of these claims have taken much longer than others. If you look, for instance, at this specific claim, it's a trauma claim, it took a hell of a long time from the date of report to the date of finalization. And this is typically high risk to the business. This means that I'm actually sitting with a claim. Number one, my customer's unhappy. I'm not settling this claim, but this is some money that's sitting in my books that I haven't spent yet, but I know I'm going to be spending. And this is typically the type of claims that are high risk for my risk department. Pete, please pause. I see it's hanging again. Right, so looking at the strategic side, then I'm going to click on the control tower here. And if I'm an actuary or a head of risk, I can immediately then go and look at my risk and aging and how my customers' demographic looks for specific types of claims. And I can immediately see a little picture of how many claims I had perhaps in the previous month, and how many claims, if this was January 2021, how many claims have I got this month so far? And it's obviously down so far from December, but this month might not be finished. The total claims amount that I'm getting in, where I am today, and that's previous month on month, and my average loss ratios month on month. I can also go and look at some summaries for the last 6 months to see how have I been doing, and how's this month perhaps comparing to the last 6 months, and how many claims did I actually receive, and how much money did I actually pay out in the last few months, and how much per type of claim, it being death, disability, total permanent disability, or trauma. If I drill down into the risk ratios dashboard here, I can actually go start an understanding these loss ratios that we talk about. Loss ratio, of course, I need to know how well my actual cash is performing, cash that I have available for settling claims versus claims that I have. And of course, I don't want to be overexposed, meaning that I know there's claims coming, there's claims sitting in my book, and I don't have the cash to fund it. And this is what all of these dashboards are all about. Understanding my loss ratios, understanding my settlement ratios. And again, this is fully drillable. If I look at, for instance, the last month, or I look at the last 6 months, I can very easily and very quickly understand over time how my loss ratios have been performing, how I'm performing right this minute, how I have been performing on finalized claims, on pending claims, and on active claims. And again, each of these charts are fully drillable. And I can go, if I wanted to look only at finalized claims and the performance of those, it will immediately update as such. Right, so just from a risk point of view, this is hugely beneficial for a risk analyst to have a look at. I can also go look at perhaps the age analysis in my claims. This is exactly what I was talking about previously. I want to understand the delays in settling claims, because this becomes higher risk for me. How many is the average days of delay that I have in settling claims? And that is from the date of lost or the date of reported. So meaning my customer is not immediately reporting a loss. I want to understand if there are delays in that way, and I can look at the average number of days. You can see here in July it was 2.98 days, and so this customer particularly has been really driving to get these loss ratio these ratios down, to understand that if a customer incurs a loss, I encourage them to very quickly report it. And they've done quite a lot of work, and this is actual real data. They've done quite a lot of work in their call center to drive the days down to when I'm settling claims. So I want to make my customer happy. If you look at September 2020, I took on average 57 days from the date, and that's the blue space at the top, 57 days from when I actually the loss was reported till I actually settled the claim. With working with the call center and making things more efficient, you can see that by January, I'm starting to look a lot better, and month on month, I'm starting to look a lot better in the number of days that I actually take in settling claims. And you can actually have a look at the date delays, that I can see that most of my delays were in finalized claims. So obviously I have settled those by now. Right, and I can really do this by call center agent. I can understand Alan Davis's behavior. I can understand Caden's behavior, and understand that Caden looks like Caden had some issues here in November 2020 with settling claims and so forth. So guys, this is live. This is real time, and this is really just to go back to and end off. This is really what you're wanting to be looking at when you are looking at settling these claims and understanding everything that's happening in the process. That's what the technology today provides you. I can immediately, at a glance, know in real time, because what have I got under the hood? I've got data streaming, I've got data batch loading, I've got everything provisioned up very quickly for my algorithms to score. I've got my algorithms scoring and pushing those decisions out to my dashboards for the people who need them, the people who need to make decisions on a daily basis to understand who's claiming, what are they claiming, who can we settle, who has been settled, who has not been settled, who are we having issues with, and how can we understand, and from a point of actuarial point of view, how can we assure that we run this organization with minimum risk, and ensuring our customers get what they want, and a good balance of they get what they want, and we make sure we're a profitable organization. So guys, to wrap up, thank you really very much for watching this today. There's lots more to see. There's lots more to explore with us. Please come talk to us. Please get in contact. As I said before, these are highly customizable to your needs, to your internal organization. But be sure that all of it is built and off the shelf already. It needs some tweaking and customization to your environment. I want to thank you very much, and I really, really look forward to talking to all of you in the near future. Thank you very much, and I'm going to hand back over to TIBCO.